Right now at 6, a grieving family searching for answers after a young mother is shot in Portland with her killer still on the run.
Plus, Multnomah County looking to hike health inspection fees, while restaurants say they're struggling just to get by. How some local spots are pushing back.
And she survived a crash she cannot remember what a local preschool teacher says stopped her first e-bike ride from becoming her last. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. We begin here at 6 o'clock with a heartfelt plea from the mother of a Portland homicide victim, one whose death has left 3 young children without a parent. Daisy Caballero's in the newsroom with the message this mother wants to send. Daisy.
Yeah, David, Laurel, Callie Bolden's parents tells me she was the youngest of 5 siblings. She was 26, full of life, and absolutely loved being a mom. Now her family is forever changed after she was killed in a shooting Sunday morning.
She would just brighten up the room. She was the life of the party. Right now she's up there dancing in heaven because she loved to dance.
Melissa Greeley is facing a parent's worst nightmare. Her 26-year-old daughter, Callie Bolden, shot and killed in Portland this past weekend, the latest gun violence victim in the city.
My phone just started blowing up with people calling, saying that Callie was deceased and she'd been shot.
The shooting happened at Southeast Foster and 86th Avenue shortly after 4 Sunday morning. Officers found Callie dead at the scene. 2 other victims were taken to the hospital with life-threatening gunshot wounds.
I just had this weird feeling. I don't know what it was.
Melissa says Callie was out at a bar with friends and believes her daughter was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I asked her not to go out. She's like, but I need time. I said, yeah, your mom needs time too. She went out anyway.
This marks Portland's 58th homicide so far this year, a statistic Melissa never thought her daughter would be part of.
She had so many people and friends that just love her, and she loved her children.
Callie leaves behind her 8-year-old son, a 2-year-old daughter, and a 10-month-old baby. Her death also comes after the father of her children died of an asthma attack last year. Melissa is now reminiscing on the beautiful memories they've created. She read me a heartfelt Facebook post that was dedicated to her years ago.
My mama is always here for me when I need her to talk or just need a hug. She's my real MVP. She makes me want to be a better mama to my son. I love you, Mommy, and thank you for everything for the last 18 and a half years.
And Melissa has a message for the person or people who did this to Callie.
Please just come forward. I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know what it was. Just please come.
Callie's parents beg you to call detectives at that number on your screen if you know anything about the shooting. And if you'd like to help the family, we'll have their GoFundMe page and a link to a meal train for the children a little later tonight. David, Laurel.
Oh, our hearts just go out to the family, especially the kids. It's just a heartbreaking story.
So painful. Thank you, Daisy.
A strike by Portland Public School teachers is looking more likely after the teachers union and the district failed to reach an agreement late last night.
The Portland Association of Teachers rejected the district's final offer after a marathon mediation session. It would have raised the first-year cost of living salary increase by 4.5%. That's up from 4%, as well as boosted planning time for elementary teachers. The district's bargaining team says there is just not enough money available to meet union demands.
There is not enough money in administration if we cut all of administration and had no central services to bridge the gap in the PAT proposal and the PPS proposal.
It's a pretty wide gap. Teachers are currently voting to authorize a strike. If that happens, a 10-day notice would come next, meaning the earliest they could hit the picket lines would be October 30th. PBS is holding a virtual public meeting with parents right now about what comes next. We'll have an update from that tonight on KGW News at 11. In your headlines now, we're learning this evening that 2 people from Portland have been killed while cycling in the Napa Valley. The crash was yesterday in Yountville. It's about 40 miles north of San Francisco. California Highway Patrol says 52-year-old Christian Deaton and 48-year-old Michelle Deaton were cycling when the load on a passing lumber truck shifted and tumbled off the trailer hitting them. Christian died at the scene. Michelle died after being taken to a hospital. The exact cause here remains under investigation.
A former Oregon nurse who sexually assaulted prisoners has been sentenced to 30 years. 39-year-old Tony Klein was convicted last July on 17 counts related to sexual assault. He worked as a nurse at the Coffee Creek Women's Correctional Facility in Wilsonville from 2010 until 2018. Prosecutors said he took advantage of his position to sexually abuse women in his care. Klein denies the charges and plans to appeal. Numerous women have also sued the State Department of Corrections alleging sexual abuse. The state has settled at least 11 cases and paid out close to $2 million while admitting no wrongdoing.
Portland State University has announced details of their proposal to build a brand new performing arts center downtown. This new space would serve as a replacement for the aging Keller Auditorium. It would include a 3,000-seat auditorium, an outdoor plaza, an on-site boutique hotel, a conference center, and educational facilities. In a statement, PSU said their plan would draw new audiences and catalyze further development. City officials will review that proposal next week.
After a couple of months of delays, the new Ritz Carlton has now set an opening date. It's less than 2 weeks away now. The ribbon cutting ceremony to mark the grand opening will be on October 31st. The 35-story, $600 million building was originally set to open in late summer. The BPM Real Estate Group then delayed it to October, attributing the delay to supply chain problems. The building on Southwest 9th in Washington will feature 251 hotel rooms and 132 condos on the upper floors. The most expensive of those condos goes for almost $8 million. Hotel rooms start at $575 per night. Matt?
Thanks, Laura. Boy, what a day. Picture perfect October weather, and the sun's just about to go down on it, at least for now. We've got more good weather coming. This is Cannon Beach. Temperature there nice and mild at 63, but we made the 70s here in the valleys. We're going to do it again tomorrow as this great weather just keeps on coming at us for a couple more days. We will begin to transition this weekend towards cooler conditions and eventually cloudy conditions, but right now it's looking fantastic for tomorrow. Let me see if I can make the graphics change here because it is just that good. So again, we topped out in the 70s today, up to, in Portland, 73 degrees as a matter of fact. As we go to tomorrow, we're still looking at great weather with temperatures climbing into the mid 70s again, about 74. And then eventually, of course, it has to come to an end. We're going to see temperatures begin to cool off over the weekend with the clouds coming in. Rain will hold off until we get into Sunday. And then next week, we've got the potential for our first significant Cascade snowfall of the season. We'll talk more about that later on, guys.
Thank you, Matt. In Multnomah County, some restaurants are pushing back on a proposal that would mean they would soon be paying more for health inspections.
Ashley Grams joins us live. And Ashley, I cannot imagine this plan is going over well with some cash-strapped businesses.
Definitely, and this proposal to increase these health inspection fees will go before the county commissioners tomorrow morning. Now, this will impact hotels and restaurants, and I talked to one local bar owner who says she just can't take another rising cost. Amy Nichols has worked at the Cheerful Tortoise since 1999.
And worked really hard and a lot of hours and advanced my way up to own both of the locations.
She now owns both the Cheerful Tortoise and the Cheerful Bullpen, two bars in downtown Portland. But the past few years have been a struggle.
I've been broken into, as you can see. All of my stained glasses have been broken out. I had turtles in there that are irreplaceable. All three of them got broken out. It's been constant graffiti cleaned up, human feces, urine. It's just nonstop.
She says it's expensive to clean up. So when Nichols heard Multnomah County was considering raising fees for health inspections and she'd have to cover that cost, she decided to speak up.
So it's very difficult to do business in Multnomah County now.
Nichols testified at the county board meeting the first week of October.
Taxes and fees just keep increasing.
And at least one commissioner agreed with Nichols.
It's a pretty significant compounding increase.
Nichols says if the fee increase passes, she'll pay over $1,000 next year.
$900 right now. It'll go up to $1,030, and then 8%, 8%, 8% for the next 3 years.
And while the county didn't make a decision the first week of October, the board is set to consider it again on Thursday, October 19th.
The commissioners need to give us a break. The city needs to give us a break. Business owners are leaving Portland not because of the crime. They're also leaving because of taxes and business licensing and increases.
I did speak with the county today, and although there have been some other fee increases mentioned, they're just considering that 6% increase that would take effect next year in 2024. So if you break that down, that means business owners could pay anywhere between $15 per year to $70 more per year, and that depends on the size of your business. David, Laurel.
Thank you, Ashley. Keep us posted on what happens there. To Oregon's addiction crisis now, and a new legislative group meeting for the first time to respond specifically to the drug and public safety crisis.
Let's bring in Blair Best live outside the state capitol with the details now. Blair.
There was a sense of urgency during today's meeting. State lawmakers started it off by admitting that addiction services in Oregon have been underfunded for years now, which is in part why it's one of the biggest issues facing our state today. Now, they say the goal of this meeting is simple: to save lives and make communities safer. Today was their first meeting to try and do that. They focused on access to addiction treatment and prevention efforts, both of which are lacking here in Oregon. The bipartisan group is called the Joint Committee on Addiction and Community Safety Response. It formed late last month. Now, in addition to coming up with solutions to this crisis, they'll make sure law enforcement has what they need to keep communities safe. And that includes making changes to Measure 110, that controversial law that decriminalized certain amounts of hard drugs. It's not clear just yet on what those changes would be, but at least one representative today called the measure a complete failure. And we sat down with Democratic Representative Jason Krupp, one of the group's co-chairs, earlier today.
This committee is about taking immediate action so that we can help people in crisis get the treatment and services they need, and also taking immediate action to make sure that we are helping build safer communities.
We're here today because the current state of the drug crisis in Oregon is unacceptable. People don't feel safe on the streets. Oregonians are not getting the addiction treatment that they need when they need it. We are grappling with cheap, deadly fentanyl that has hit our streets in the last sort of 3 or 4 years in a big, big way.
All right, so lawmakers acknowledge this is a complex problem, and reaching any type of solution will take time. Now, that being said, they want to hear from the community. So they'll be holding public meetings leading up to the next year's legislative session where people are encouraged to testify, including those struggling with addiction. Now, the next meeting is on November 6th, and you can catch my full report, including more of that one-on-one with the committee co-chair, tonight at 6:30 on The Story.
Blair Best in Salem. Thank you, Blair.